Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back. So glad to have you in the building with us tonight. Welcome to the Purpose for Productive Show. I am Florence, your host, and y'all, we made it. We are at the wrap up show for Iron Sharpens Iron. If you're new here and you don't know about it, we have been spending an entire month with thought leaders, content creators, business owners, all who are bivocational. And by that, I mean they have a business and they're doing volunteer work, or they have a job and they have a business they're running together. They're doing content creation and they're supporting family. They're bivocational, lots going on. And if you are that person, then tonight is for you. There's a saying that says, once your mind is expanded, it cannot go back. So hang tight because your mind is going to be expanded tonight. I'm so excited and I can't believe he said yes. I was telling my team earlier, when I asked, I can't believe this gentleman said yes to me. But I have somebody here tonight to share with you and answer your questions, who will expand your thinking, challenge your thinking, and be a velvet glove with you all at the same time. He is a vet like me. He is a New Yorker, a DC, a DMV person. He is your content creator's creator. He's a medic. Most of all, he's just an all around good guy and somebody that I watch literally every day and take notes on. If you've never met this gentleman, you are in for a treat. I want you all to give a warm Equip Institute welcome to Doc Rock. So glad to have you. Let's get him here. Hey, Doc,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You're here. You're really here.
Look, I see all the family is in the chat hanging out. Like, this is good. We might as well be at home. Welcome to
We
the
might,
cookout,
yeah,
y'all.
right. You know, we once you come once and where we come from, you at home. Be comfortable. Be
Yes.
who you are.
It-
So
Hey,
you're
that next
here.
plate of greens, you got to go get it yourself.
You got to go get your own greens. You got to go get your own drink. Don't be asking me. The only rule we got is take your shoes off when you come in the door.
See, you know what's funny? When I came to Hawaii, and I was like, "Oh, you're gonna have to get used to taking your shoes off." I was like, "Man, that's the same at home. You walk in the house with some shoes on, my mama would have sent you like 3 weeks ago." So,
Exactly. You
yeah,
wouldn't have
I've
even
always been
felt
that
that
kid.
one coming.
Yeah, that was an easy transition for me.
Yeah. So that's the rule. If you get a little bit too tipsy, we got a bed in there for you. So we good. We are good. I am super excited to have you here with us, and I got questions. If nobody else has
Okay.
questions, I got questions.
Let's
But
go. You know what's
before
funny?
we
I'm doing this series on my channel called I Got Questions.
Oh
And I
wow,
just
yeah.
posted another one yesterday with Alec, AJ. And
Mhm.
so yeah, I'm gonna have you come on with my I got questions. We can trade up.
I got questions. I told Yolanda I need her mug, that big giant I got questions mug. I need that joker.
Oh,
'Cause I
don't do
I
not
I got
invoke the
questions.
Ravens Queen today. She gonna come for me.
She 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 gonna pop up. She's gonna pop up. She's gonna pop up. Actually, she's already here,
She's
but
already here.
before
I seen
she's
her.
already here. But before we do all of that and say hi to the fam, for anyone who's watching who don't know who you are, which would be hard to believe, but if they don't know who you are, who is Doc Rock? Your origin story, or what other kind of story
All
you
right,
want
I'm
to
gonna
tell?
give you the brief one, and I'll tell you why. I did this at a conference once, and the conference people could not wrap their head around it. They're like, "Well, how come you didn't submit your bio?" I'm like, "'Cause it's not about me." And they're like, "Well, what do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm here to answer their questions. Like, they could look me up on the internet. I don't hide. I'm really well out there. Basically, I'm a content creator. I've been doing this for a long time. I come from the broadcast world, from selling, Sony cameras and high-end equipment, and also from doing radio and television for like oh, 45 years. I almost forgot. That's how old I've been doing it. I've been doing it since it was not quite black and white, but it was pretty close. So when YouTube came out, and I just saw like, yo, this is a window for all of the people who wanted to get into the business, but there was no way they were going to afford it. this is how they could get in. Because I came from selling like $150,000 cameras. And when I'm like, yo, somebody can buy like an $800 camera and go to town. All right, let's go teach that. And it was better because like dealing with the filmmaker snobs I used to deal with, they got on my nerves. And you know what it's like when you got a little PG County in you and they say something sideways. So yeah, that's
you
that's basically
you
it.
already cutting up. You are already look
That's
look
basically it.
look a little Berry Farm in you.
Yeah,
Little,
100%.
little, little
Listen,
Berry
they
Farm.
w
We
I
good.
wasn't gonna take
Little
it
Berry
that
Farm.
dirty, but yes, that's for
No,
sure.
yeah, real talk, right? Real talk. So we got some folks who are hanging out tonight, y'all. You know my rule: ask your questions early, because if you start asking me later, I'm gonna tell you should ask him. But we have in the building with us Frank Jackson, who is also in the lounge with us. So y'all who registered, come on in here because you're gonna get to ask questions you won't get to ask in public. And we have, you know, this gentleman, tech troublemaker, Roy is in the building with us.
That's my buddy.
And we have, I think this is Gretchen. These are some
No, that was me.
huge.
That was
This
me, I
is
was in the
you.
wrong account.
Okay, okay, no worries. This is a huge comment. See, y'all, I'm learning how to do stuff with Ecamm. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn one of these days. Oops, wrong account.
I didn't want y'all to think that was Mary Lou.
Mary Lou will get me for saying the wrong thing, and she has never even talked to me. Welcome to the show, emotional CEO. Yes, happy Friday, Live Tribe. And if you are watching and you're not commenting, welcome because you are part of the Live Tribe. And if you're part of the Magical Replay crew, so glad to have you with us. I think you know this young lady.
Yes, how you
Is she gonna
doing,
come for you
Yolanda?
tonight? Is she
No,
gonna
I'm
behave?
gonna behave. I don't want a counselor to sue me.
Here's your partner in crime. That's Mary Lou Man. Mary Lou, welcome to the channel. So glad to have you here. So glad to have you here. I'm just double checking anybody else. Uh-oh. This gentleman, you call
There
him
you go,
Jimmy, but James
Jimmy.
Hicks,
That's
Professor
my
Hicks
man's.
is in the building. So glad to have you here. And the moderator of moderators, Paul doesn't even know this. Um, when I started the channel and had the moderators start, I sent them all to Paul's channel to watch what it was like and what to learn how to do to be a moderator.
Oh, look at him. Look at you gonna make his head so big, we won't be able to contain him.
Hello, Mr. Camera Junkie. So glad to have you in the building with us. And you are part of the core crew with Doc. And Tora, I know you got some good questions. You're going to be driving that little red car up somebody's driveway today.
Dude, Tora is one of my favorite creators. She is always just down to bring the energy, and she makes any room happy, and I hate to
Yeah.
give her that much compliments because she always throws me shade, but I just love her to death. She always makes me crack up whenever I'm on the stream, so if she's around, it's a party.
And David Hunt, you are not new. Stop playing. Stop playing. Hey, hey. And hello, Denise. So glad to have you back. You are definitely part of the regulars here on the show. So, gang, here's how we're going to do this. You got questions? Put your questions in. You know, Q colon. Uh, I will get those questions to Doc and he will answer your questions. Tonight, I'm not answering your questions. He is. So, he is the person who you're going to get some wisdom from. And tonight we're talking about scaling your mindset. So this is all about how you think about your profession. And I use bivocational profession because if you're living and you do anything, number one, your life is a business. And number two, you have some other way typically that you're bringing revenue in. Or you may be quote unquote retired and you're doing volunteer work. Either way, you're bivocational. And it takes a certain mindset to be successful at whatever level you decide success is for you. So tonight we're going to dig into your mindset. And I know that Doc will stretch all of us to consider what we think about and how we think. So I've got a bunch of questions here. I'm not going to ask all of them, but I do have A bunch. And I'm going to start with this one. When you were thinking about teaching this content creation, you were already running a business. What were some thoughts you had to change in yourself to make the real commitment that you've made?
This is a very good question. And first of all, as a person who teaches interviews, if you can ever make the person on the other end say that this is a good question, nobody ever asked me that, you already won. So you just go ahead and get your little cape and put it on, get your little Oscar, be like, I like to think the Academy, Moonlight, oh, no, La La Land. Yeah, you got it. All right. So, um, you know, when I was first getting into the business in general, right? Just, entertainment business in general, there was a lot of gatekeeping. And when I got into being a computer nerd, there was a lot of gatekeeping. And I was like, these two worlds are going to come together. And so I wanted to stand at the door with the copies of the backstage pass. Like, come on, you can get in. Oh, just tell them you and me. Come on, you can get in. And I just want to get as many people through the door before the gatekeepers came. And we're still fighting with the gatekeepers to this day. But I would do everything in my power to go toe to toe with a gatekeeper and be like, I won't use bad words on your show. Person, move, because me and my friends are coming in, and you got to deal with me otherwise. So I wanted to absolutely make sure that I could share the type of information that nobody could stop you, even if they were trying to gatekeep you. I wanted you to be able to outshine them, because when they try to be like, "Oh, you can't do this because you don't have X," you'd be like, "I got X though, so let's go." Like I wanted to just take that and put that all out the window, because I went through that trying to learn computer stuff. Nobody would share anything, nobody would tell anything, and I would tell everything. And my dad used to get mad at me. He's like, you could charge people to do what you're doing. I go, yeah, I could just give it away for free. If they feel like paying me, they'll pay me. Or maybe they don't have money. Remember when we didn't have money? And so yeah, I just kind of want to make sure that everybody had a spot.
Okay. Well, you just sent us down the flow. I told you I was gonna flow. So many people who want to get in business or who are starting a business will say, I don't have money for this, that, or the other thing. If the person really wants to do what it is they say they want to do, how do they overcome that already self limiting belief about, I don't have money to do this thing or that other thing?
Oh, that's easy. So like if you go to the shop at on the corner of like Berkshire, right? Clavel gonna be out there with his little bucket. He be like, "Hey man, can I get a quarter? Why? Oh, I just need to give me a little taste." And Clavel gonna hit up like 9, 10 people for a quarter until he get enough to buy a bottle of Mad Dog. People will get what they really want. So you say you want to start a business, but obviously you don't, because if you did, you'd be doing something to put yourself in a position to get there. Right? One of the easiest things today, this excuse is crazy. If you own a vehicle, you have no excuse, because there's Uber, there's DoorDash, there's TaskRabbit, there's all kind of myriad sources of way for you to fund this project. Back in the day when we were working on our rap album and we didn't have no money, but we needed studio time, I would go work at a table, work at a restaurant, wait tables. I would, walk around the neighborhood and be like, your grass is getting long. Let me get that. Now, Spencer, he has a whole YouTube channel going around cutting people grass. I bet you he makes more from the channel than he do from the landscaping business, but his landscaping business is booked up. So like I totally been there. I remember when I was at Perry and everybody was getting new spikes. I wanted new spikes, and my mama was like, "Boy, I wish you would ask for some new spikes." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I just took the lawnmower. I went up and down the block in Hinesville, Maryland. Hey, Miss Jenkins, can I cut your grass? Yeah. All right, how much is it gonna be? I'm like $5. Boom, cut the grass. She give me 10. You know what I mean? And a Sprite. Go about your way. And then she like, oh, go over there and see my sister. She lived right down the block and turn the corner. All right, cool. I would cut a bunch of grass and stuff. I come back, all right, mom, take me to the Iverson Mall. Why? I'm about to buy these spikes. Where you got money from? I cut all of that grass. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, because I'm allergic, right? So my eyes would be like this big. But I tell you what, I wasn't going to school without them cleats. You know what I mean? I had to look cool. So we did
There
it.
you go.
We did it. I don't know why people get to be adults and forget how to. I'm like, yo, babysit somebody kids until you get enough to buy that SM7B.
Babysit some kids.
It's so
Yeah.
simple. Because people want to go on a date, like Mary Lou's sister might want to go on a date, and she'd be like, "Hey, sis, I got this concert tickets. I'm gonna go see Kendrick. Cool. I'll watch them kids, but it's gonna be 100 bones. I thought we was family. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be 100 bones. She was like, all right, because the Kendrick tickets was 1,200, so you might as well take it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have any kids, by the way, but that's an
I'm not
example.
in
Like,
that camp.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, me, Mary Lou, I think her sister too. Like, we don't got them, but them kids is expensive. I don't know how y'all do it.
I have godchildren and they are expensive.
That's what I'm saying. I like my godchildren because I can send them home.
So I'm gonna and we are starting to get questions. I'm just remind everybody. And by the way, just so you know, right way, this beauty right here that you're looking at is right there. It's right there. It's called docmerch.com. Just so you know. Uh and
I'm like Thanos
other
up in here.
colors, other colors. So this is intentional. This is oh my God. I'm sorry. Mary Lou, lady,
Right?
lady, you gonna have me off the rails already. Here she go.
That is so good. That's my homie.
Bring your kids.
Hey, there
3:15
you go.
hour.
There you go. See, I'm like, look, we're gonna have people like, how come you ain't stream today? Yo, I was babysitting them kids. Remember
Babysitting
Bebe's
them
kids? That
kids.
movie is them Bebe's kids.
Baby's kids. So while we're here, I might as well go ahead and throw Torah on you. What was a self-limiting belief that once held you back, and how did you finally break free from it?
Oh, this is glorious. I grew up in the day and age where people would always, and to this day, actually, still, people will be up in church, and Miss Sarah May used to be like, "Oh, that's baby boy, he's shy." And so I used to stand behind my mom or my sister or my grandma, and I had a little pants leg, and I'd be like, look around the corner. And so all the way up until I got to high school, I literally believed I was shy. And then by the time I got to high school already, though, I was reading the DSM-5 and I was reading the PDR physician's desk reference because I knew I wanted to go in the medical field. Everybody in my family was in the medical field in some way, shape, or form. So I used to go to my grandma's house and she always had the PDRs. I sit there and read that. And then one day I was like, what's this other book, Grandma? And she's like, oh, that's the DSM-5. What's that for? She's like, oh, that's for, people that they're a little touched. That's what the old ladies used to call it. And I'd be like, what do you mean? She's like, like Jesus just had to need them to be special. So I would read the book. And then I was like, wait a minute, shy is not in here. Well, like, why they keep telling me I'm shy? I am not shy. I'm going to be something else. So Torah, how I got over it is I invented this persona. His name is Doc Rock. And so he could be whatever I wanted because he was brand new. You know what I'm saying? And so from that moment, I knew right then and there I was going to live that persona instead of the one that my family told me had all these, other things going on and all of the baggage that came with, childhood and, growing up in our area. Our area wasn't cute, but it's cute now because they gentrified it. But like I just like made up a character, and I think my drama club and stuff in school showed me that you could just do that. And then being a superhero book, Punisher did it, Batman did it, Spider-Man did it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just do that. I'm gonna just make me another character and just be that. So that's where it came from. That was my first one, and then I realized what limiting beliefs were.
If you came from the place where someone else told you couldn't do something, and they didn't base it on anything that was really you,
Mm-mm.
they based it on an external factor that had truly nothing to do with you.
And a lot of times they base it on their experience, right? Because they
Hmm.
came up a particular way, you know what I mean? And, we were big on, speak when spoken to, nobody wants to hear from you, like, the adults are speaking, like, all of that stuff, and I think that's what ruins so many Gen X creators is we can still hear Sarah Mae Smith, cursing you out in her little Haitian accent, trying to tell you that, you're not ready for this, but love you, grandma, but nope. I better start talking about her because something might fall down in my office pretty soon.
Be careful. Be careful. Folks are making comments here, and you can certainly comment on these, Doc, as much as you like. David, Doc, you renewed your mind.
Yep.
You renewed your mind, and we all can, family. Whatever is holding us back. One of the things, um, it's so much that I learned from you watching your content, and one of those is time. My thing is time, meaning every human has the same amount of time. No human has any more or any less as long as they live 24 hours. The only way you have less is you don't live through the 24 hours. So all of us have 1,440 minutes. And so many say, I didn't have time for this, that, or the other thing. You have a framework, and I want you to explain it to the audience tonight, how you manage organizing the work that you have to do because you got many, many roles that you fill
Yes.
in multiple businesses. And yet you show up literally every single day for others.
First of all, I'm doing everything in my power to not sing 525,600 minutes. Anyway, um, so
You can
I
have
can't.
Tourette's all you want tonight.
It's coming. It's coming. I have this thing I call block it, lock it, and rock it. And the first thing that you're going to have to learn is the people who inadvertently steal your time to stop you from doing what you're doing is because they don't believe that you really want to do it. And the reason why they don't believe that you really want to do it is because you have shown providence before with Shackley or Amway or Mary Kay, or that one time you was losing weight, or that one time you was going traveling. Like, they've seen you start and stop projects. They've seen you buy a Cricut, ain't never cut a single piece of vinyl. They seen you, buy all kind of stuff. You're going to build leather purses, and all you got is a house full of like leather scraps. So they seen you. So they're trying to protect you from you again, because that's what they did for me. And then once they figure out that you're serious, they will leave you alone. The framework is basically you block out the time frame, and you can legit start with 15 minutes. And then you make that non-negotiable. Like, there's nobody can separate you from that time except for whatever deity you believe in. And then you get there and you do exactly what you said you're going to do when you got there. So when you show up, if that is writing, so you on one video a week, oh cool, that's write the script for the video that you can record on Wednesday. And then on Tuesday, that's going to be do some research. And Wednesday is finish some research. On Thursday is finalize that research. On Friday is shoot a loose copy of the video, mistakes, everything. On Saturday, shoot it again, fix it. Okay. On Sunday, you start editing. On Monday, you write your titles, your description, your social media posts, and your whole 9 yards. On Tuesday, you upload it to YouTube. On Wednesday, you publish. So now you're putting out a video every week. That's block it, lock it, rock it. And you can do it at 15 minutes. Even in 15-minute chunks, there's no reason why you can't make a video once a week. And the cool part about them, I don't have 15 minutes. All right, first of all, you're lying because I can get it from Law and Order or whatever the hell you watch, Kardashians, whatever that may be. Second one, like, you get at least 7 minutes to drop a deuce a couple times a day. If you don't, you need more fiber. You can at least do half of that while you're on the toilet. I'm sorry. Y'all got to stop with these excuses. They just make me
Y'all,
mad.
it's real. It's okay.
Y'all make
It's
me
real.
mad, right? You can write, you and ChatGPT can have a conversation while you're on the toilet, as Archie Bunker used to call it.
Exactly. You have the time. You have the time. So we got another question from Tora. Everybody else being shy. Why y'all being
Or
shy?
said she cut vinyl for at least 30
She like,
days.
I'm coming to get my stuff. What's a daily habit or practice that has helped you maintain the new mindset even when things are going well? Life be life.
Oh,
And oh, yes, it does. It be
all right. So
life and
let
for
me
real.
flip this on you. Okay, let me flip it right back on you. If you have the daily practice to pray, because you have been trained to believe in what you believe in, you could also flip half of that in, and not gonna be mad at you because you're still doing the same work. You could flip half of that prayer back time into self-reflection and self-improvement and self-awareness and doing for self. Because by doing for self, you would still be doing for your maker. So I know for a fact that you specifically spend a minimum of an hour a day talking to the long distance conference call with your people, right? So flip half of that around and then do the Lord's work instead of talk the Lord's work. Y'all did not invite me here to get off easy. So don't play. Don't
Don't
play.
play. Don't play with me
Don't play.
today.
So my
Don't play
personal
with me.
daily habit is I teach myself something new every day. I watch tons of content about stuff that I don't care about. So if I'm ever in a situation and someone talks to me about reselling shoes or resoling shoes, I can do that. When someone talks to me about like turning diesel from like French fry grease, yep, understand that. Like how colored pencils is made, yep. How to make pickles, yep. So I constantly teach myself something every day. David Hunt, do not sneak and preach me. That's my dude. Don't tell Kurt, David. Don't tell Kurt.
So, yeah, true. That self reflection is something I've done for years.
Yeah.
Every day, I think a, a couple things. So you can sew into me now. What went well today? What did I do that went really well? And maybe I didn't expect it. What experience did I have today that was unexpected and totally new for me? And the third one is where the hee haw, I'm going to say it that way. Did I really mess up? I'm cleaning my language up.
Oh.
But where the hee haw did I really mess? When did you say? So for those who don't know and have never met me, I work in medical healthcare technology during my other career. So I deal with large systems, huge systems every day.
We call that your
And
part-time job.
yeah, my
Creating
partner.
a real job.
And I'm constantly having to deal with clients, very high powered, who don't expect me to show up in the room.
Yep.
And you know what I mean. So I have to be very, very cognizant of not only what I say, but how I say, and tell them, you don't know what you're talking about, get out of my face in a
Yeah, in
very
a nice
nice
way.
way. In a nice way.
Yeah, when I have those things, I had to channel Mary Lou because, like Tora said, like I get spicy, so I can just, hey Mary Lou, like how do we fix this? So when you're talking about this self-reflection thing about like what went good today. So check this out. Again, I'm going to use Tora as an example because she opened the door. So you go in your little space, you got your good book, and you say, hey, Lord, I want to thank you for the awesome day I had today. I want to thank you for having Mary Lou call me so we can have our hour conversation and, power through this stuff. We're going to get these people to tell their stories and share their contents and believe in themselves, Lord, because you created them. So I want to thank you for giving me the skills in order to help them. But thank you for providing me with Mary Lou so that I can not help them so much that they can't help themselves, blah, blah, blah. So you could just convert it. Like if you need to make yourself feel better about it, then just turn it into a prayer. You call it meditation, you call it prayer.
Mm.
I mean, they call it meditation. You call it prayer. I call it brainstorming. It's the same thing, fam.
Mm-hmm.
We are light in the same. If we put a brain scan on, we doing the same work.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you need that to gas you, then now your excuse you just set yourself up because you said I'm the ministry. Well then, how about you have a content creating ministry?
A
Y'all mess
content
with the wrong
creating
kid.
ministry.
Y'all mess with
Look,
the wrong kid.
David Hunt done made a hashtag. You see him, right?
Yeehaw Chronicles.
Talking about what in the hee haw. Y'all know. Y'all know. I'm gonna say something real country. I'm from Iowa. What can I say? I have no excuse. And
Look at you
Denise
with the
makes a
nice
comment here. I
overlays. Come
don't
on now.
self-reflect enough.
Man, Denise, I want to see you reflect because something tells me you're a powerful individual. So
She is
you
super
you
powerful.
you gotta, I mean, come on, you have to take a moment to celebrate all your victories is minor, no matter how minor they are. So even, like having a conversation and solve a problem. I had a big win today for something that I'm planning for NAB. And
Okay.
as soon as I'm done, I text Katie. I'm like, boss, buckle up. I just knocked one out the park. Listen, so I told it to her, and she was like, whoa, wow, congratulations. She immediately takes that and sends it to Paul and Caleb in the marketing team, right? And then sometimes she'll take that and send it to Ken and Glenn. Like we have a win channel because if only we listened to the person who was complaining today in the group, we would all feel down because the person came for us. Turned out it was them, but hey, I can't talk about that. But the fact that we also have the wins channel, when somebody comes spicy or whatever, we go and look at our wins channel and be like, okay, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I am here for a reason. I'm about to Peebo Bryson. I'm not going to sing it. You know what it is. You got it in your head now.
You know,
Dun,
you
dun,
you
dun,
you
dun,
talk
dun.
about often one of your sayings is, I don't know who this is for, but if it's for you, drop a comment. When people drop those comments for you and you get a chance to answer our questions or expand on something that maybe we didn't understand, do you count those as a win for you?
100%. 100%. Two things that provides me. One, I know that it's resonating, so that is a guidepost, right? That is a guidepost in the night to let me know that I'm going down the right path. Number two, it helps me see the people who are willing to admit that they need help. And then number three, it normally sparks the next piece of content because some people were like, yo, that was just me. And some people are like, yo, that was just me because X. So I was talking to Mary Lou about this today. I made a video about a piece of gear. It's a new DJI product. And somebody came and goes, oh, the competing product, which is Insta360, is better. And so me, being Doc, I'm like, okay, I'll bite. Why? Because listen, maybe the dumbest thing you can say is like it's better, but you don't say why. Like it's like somebody saying to Yolanda that the Colts are better, and she's gonna be like no, and then they're gonna be like, oh, they're just better, and then she was like no, and then she'll break down. Well, Lamar Jackson did this, and the offensive line did this, and receivers did this, and blah blah blah. We made it to the playoffs, and blah blah blah. You guys are back. It's like she'll have reasons. To just make a blanket statement that something else is better just because that's the cantankerousness that goes down in the internet. And so I'm thinking, okay, this guy's going to come back with some other points. And if they were valid, you know what I would have done? Spend 150 bones to buy the other one and compare. But all he said was, oh, DJI is just late to the party. They're copying. What? You got brothers and sisters? Yeah. Your mom and daddy copied you. Shut up. Like, come on. Like, go on. Like, that's just the kind of stuff that we deal with. And I don't think of it as bad. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to stir this pot anymore because if the dude is serious about it, fine. But if he had gave me a good reason, I seriously would have went to buy more and bought the other one and then compared them both. And I was just like, why? You just want to feel like you won by telling me that some product I picked was bad? You should never tell somebody that their thing that they bought is bad. That's like me yelling at Yolanda and Tora about how nasty broccoli is.
I cooked some broccoli the other day, and when I was cooking it,
God,
I
we
thought
not. This
about
show
you
is
eating that
over.
broccoli.
Frank, hang me up, please.
I
Frank
thought
is
about
like,
you
don't
eating
get
that
me
broccoli.
involved.
I really did. Just saying, I really did think about you. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, Doc should have some of this broccoli. So we do have people who are still chiming in. Please, Doc, comment on anything you want, flow however you want. Yeah, we don't have time for these excuses.
It's
Yes.
true. Tuesday, Mary Lou and I were talking, and I said, I really try, and I'm gonna give you like 3 chances to show me that you're okay. And even if you struggle, maybe I'll add a couple more. But if you give me 3 in a row and you still don't want to like try to make better for yourself, I'm gonna give up on you because I spent way too much time in my life helping people who didn't want to be helped. And I'm like, yo, I could have used that to bless somebody who was really trying to be here. You know what I mean? So like I just stopped. You know what I mean? I mean,
There it is.
you've
You
seen the
cannot save
evangelist, right?
somebody who wants to be, who
Who
doesn't
don't
want to
want to
be
be saved.
saved. You
Thank
can't
you.
save somebody who don't want to be. You will kill yourself, and they will be fine.
Yes. Yes. And they will
Go on
outlast
about their
you.
business.
Thank you. Thank you. This is why so many caretakers end up passing before the patients because they sometimes are trying to help somebody who don't want to be saved and it just takes them apart, and it really depends on what the illness is. But I've legit seen it happen. Like my dad is not here right now because he could not like let go of the fact that you're trying to do something that was never going to get fixed. And then so the failure thought just got to him, and it's like you wasn't failing, you were trying to do something that was impossible. So I just like yo, life's too short to box with God.
And your arms ain't long enough. So somebody did ask a question. Do you sleep?
Yeah, I sleep. I'm old. What you want? Hell yeah, I sleep.
Hey, they want to know, when do you sleep? Do you sleep? And here go Roy. I have to use at least 420 of my minutes to sleep.
Hey, I'm good for about 6 hours a night, and then I do a daily nappuccino, unless Paul calls me and wakes me up or something. But when I finish lunch, I make my coffee, I drink it, and then I take a 20-minute nap before the caffeine kicks in. It's called Nappuccino. It's invented by myself and Jeff C. So every day I skipped my Nappuccino today because right when I was about to do it, Mary Lou was like, hey, bestie. And I was like, damn it.
And here go the saying, when you can't say ouch, just say amen.
Thank you,
You
Tara.
all, I said your mind was going to be expanded. Once you learn it, you're not going to unlearn it. It's going to be there. I fundamentally believe one of the reasons people get, I'm going to use this word that I don't like either, overwhelmed, is because they take on and believe things that are not true, that are not, and I'm not saying factual, because something can be factual but not true, right?
Yes.
And they're
Like
not
the Ravens are good.
willing to stretch. What you're giving us tonight is stretching the way we look at, hopefully, everything in our life.
All I
Our
really want you to do is question
contribution.
yourself.
Yeah,
If you
just
question
ask
yourself,
questions.
yes, ask questions because you and I know this from conversations we had before. We're very exploratory type individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked this question the other day and no one has yet to answer me. The word it was on my SAT test. So I know for a fact that overwhelm has been around for quite a long time. But I swear to you, prior to the pandemic, I never heard nobody talk about it. If they were overwhelmed, they were overwhelmed with joy. Right? But somehow when the pandemic came out and you got to hear all of the complainers at one time, people started absorbing words into their vocabulary that they didn't say quite often. And you know the truth. You know how often you used that word prior to 5 years ago and how often you use it now. And a dime against two fat boys, you never uttered the statement imposter syndrome. You never uttered the statement overwhelmed. And you never uttered the statement burnout unless you were talking about that stone dude from class who was Burnout. You know that look? You know that look? The dudes up in Wheaton at the mall by
At
the
the
record
mall.
store at Waxy Maxie's, you know, in Langley Park. They were like, you guys have any rock and roll? Like, that's what we call burnt out. You hanging out in Georgetown by the river. That's where the burnouts live. We didn't talk about like, oh, I'm making content and I don't have time to make content. I'm burned out. Like you just, I'm sorry, we didn't use those words. Now we use all these words to be excuses because we are absorbing other people's BS. And I'm like, yo, if you're going to be a 3M sponge, absorb clean, good water. Like, do not absorb the Potomac. You know what I'm saying?
Please
Like, get
don't
up there.
absorb the Potomac.
Thank you. Absorb some good clean.
That
So
is not good for you.
here's a prime example. And this is why I like having Mary Lou around. She's my homie. She fixes my brain all the time. I used to always say that, you know, people had this like sort of weird fear of the camera or whatever. And she's like, you know, Doc, I think it's more about they're afraid to be perceived. And being a POC, we understand that.
But wait a minute.
Right?
Why you care what somebody else think about you? If it's raining, they ain't coming to your funeral. They damn sure, scoops. They're darn sure not gonna bring you any food if you're hungry. Why you
Yeah.
care what they think about you?
Yo, they come to your repast, grab a plate, and leave.
And
That's what they're
leave.
gonna do. That's what they're gonna do.
And then
No,
complain
but
about the chicken
it's just
wings.
it's a thing. It's a thing because you want to be. I think most people. I'm like you. Like I kind of really don't care, but I think a lot of people just have this thing. Number one, everyone's looking for a place to fit in, and I understand that we are tribal by nature. But I understand the idea now of how someone's afraid of how they're going to be perceived, and so therefore they don't want to put it out. But like you know, in the family, you got some people that will go half braid, half out. They'll just go to the giant, get their food, come back. And you got other
Put a
people that
bonnet
can't
on
leave
and
the
go on
house
about
until
the.
another 6 hours of braids is done because they're never leaving the house. Half braid, half out, comb in. Just never do it. They're gonna always be braided, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same person. Like your value is not in whether you finish getting your hair done. But if you believe that because somebody splanked it to you that way, that's part of the limitation. And so even to what Torah said, I will admit before I would think that one of my limitations was, you know, I'm not some young skinned, handsome white kid. So as a person in tech, they're not going to understand that I actually know what I'm talking about. Like I was in tech before any of these kids was born. So I actually know more than what half of them are speaking on. But I just thought they wouldn't believe me. And then it just dawned on one day, they wouldn't believe you anyway. Anybody who thinks like that wouldn't believe you if you invented the camera. They'll be like, no, he paid somebody else to invent that camera. You know what I'm saying? So then I had to sort of back it up and think about it. And you know, we had this conversation on the primary thing that we use in our mobile network was invented by a sister. But all the racists that's out here using their phone every day would never admit to that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that I just don't think people really understand. Right?
I got a
So
good one for you.
they would
Potato
never
chips.
back
Since we
you
were
up.
talking about those,
100%
how
potato
did
chip.
who where did potato chips come from?
It wasn't Pringle.
It
Those ain't
wasn't
potato chips.
Pringle.
No way.
It was a brother working in a hotel,
Yep.
and a customer complained about their potatoes being too thick.
Dude, mostly anything good and fried came from West Africans.
So there you go. That's your BHM nugget for the night.
Where's Alicia? Alicia would have had the whole story, wrote a blog about it. she would have had
So,
a post.
little known fact, Doc, one of my degrees is in actually, at the time they called it African American history.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Like the
there
real
are
McCoy,
folks who
right? That's my favorite.
yeah, that this past year, in the last few years, that I have been in rooms with, have been on stage with, um, because of that. Yeah.
That's good. See, I like that.
It's interesting. we're down here. I told you I just kind of flow. However, I'm not that.
That's your
It's got to
name.
be
That's
this
what run
way.
it.
You know what? You and my brother get to call me that. Everybody else I growl at, and I may beat you. Um,
Thank you.
um, when we when we take all of who we are and bring it to the game, we're unstoppable. You you don't have to tell everybody where it all came from, but bring all of you to the game. And I don't mean, go get 1,000 LV bags. Shush, Josh. Don't say a word. Don't open your mouth. Be quiet. But I'll give you an example, Doc, and I actually want you to kind of think about this in terms of the way I had to think about it. I'm working
Okay.
on an educational program in this other world that I work in, and we're doing about 40 different education sessions. I started bringing all of the quote unquote executives into Zoom with Ecamm and recording their session. All they have to do is show up in Zoom, be present, and present. I got everything else covered. Without a doubt, everyone that has even been through the testing at this point, how did you learn how to do that? I didn't know you could do that. I've never seen anything like that before. Why? Why, Doc?
It is the modern, this sounds mean. It is the modern, safer equivalent of, oh, well, you speak so eloquent.
You speak so well.
Oh, they used to crush me. I like,
You eat
ooh,
chicken with a fork and a knife.
like, yo, they used to crush me. It really used to crush me. Uh, yeah, I think it really is. Well, in a way, I as much as I hate those comments, I used to like those comments because I'm like, in the same token, as much as what you said was evil, you thought you were saying something nice. But if anything, I added one more pillar to disassociating that thing you have in the back of your head from whomever planted it there. So when I look at it, and I can always tell when a person is like really nice or kind of nice, or like they actually got some secret in them in the back, right? You can tell who would happily don a sheet. Let's just put it that way. And so when I know that you just on third generation ignorant, I'm gonna give you the pass, but I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep giving you a little bit more nuggets. So to put this in Torah and Yolanda terms, I'm gonna have you eat one floret every day until you finally say, okay, you can eat a whole pound of broccoli.
Don't say nothing. They messing with you.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
And your boy, he went all in.
Pause. Pause fired. Yo, I gotta tell you the
Mr.
funniest
Duncan went
thing.
all in.
The funniest thing happened the other day, and Paul gets a pass for like the next month. Okay, so I've been, 3D printing some stuff to organize my office, and I realized it's easier for me just to get the pegboard and then print the accessories, right? So I sent the order, I thought, to Paul's house. But when I was putting it in IKEA, it did the auto address fill and it changed the address. So I was like, Paul, exciting news. Package got delivered. Paul was like, I don't know who door that is. My door is red. And I was like, uh-oh. So I started looking. Yo, I sent that joint 3 miles down the street. So Paul, he put the oxygen tank on and went 3 miles to go knock on these people's
Paul,
door.
he did not say oxygen tank.
I got to slip it in a little bit. Paul went and got it. So I owe Paul my life. He probably like, I'm going to cuss this dude out when I see him. And lucky, I'm going to see him next month anyway. So I'm gonna have to buy Paul all kind of stuff when we get to Vegas. I'm gonna have to get him like a foot massage or something because he saved my butt. He was like, I guess that was better than wasting $300 on giving somebody free IKEA. I was like, damn it, I hate you, Paul.
Oh,
But
I
I can't
love this
believe I
one.
did that.
You didn't have that till the internet told you that you did.
Oh, that's the best one. That's
Mm-mm-mm.
people, and I get it. Like I fully get it, and I understand. And I think I want to stop being mean to people about it. But I'm just like, yo, when is the last time you heard somebody walk in and say, "I am properly whelmed"? Everybody's either overwhelmed or underwhelmed, and I'm like, bro, why are we extremists? Why can't you just be straight up whelmed? I'm feeling whelmed today.
Why do you have to be either extreme?
Yeah,
Why?
it's always, and I think it's an understanding of this is we spend a lot of time in our country right now living in the negative. And again, it's fully understandable. Like I get the climate that we're in, but if the water is nasty, get out the water. Like no one's making you stay in the water. Like we live in an environment today where we can live completely vicarious in another world, right? We can travel through the internet to anywhere in the world and be there. So if your neighborhood is getting on your nerve and you happen to have an internet connection, you can escape, right? You can absolutely escape. So yeah, that's it. I just spend a lot of time being around positive people. I spend a lot of time around creators. I work really hard to make sure that I don't stay mucked in the mire of everybody else complaining. And so sadly enough, right now, that means I don't get to talk to my family that much because they're enjoying the victimhood of that whatever dude his name is. And I'm just like, yeah, I ain't got time for that.
Mm. So
And
here,
my sister will probably lose her job. But I'm like, we're talented. You lost a job before. You'll get another job. You're good. You know what I mean? But like, you can't. Don't spend that much time irritated at that dude because he'll be dead in the next couple of years, and you still be here. So
here's another question from Tor. Tor is the only one asking questions, y'all. What does Doc say to the person that says, "I get what you're saying, but well, there's the problem, but it's just too late in life to change." Yes, I said that.
you know, if you think it's too late, you already lost. Because I guarantee you, what if I said to you, you have the opportunity to positively help the next 300 people that you meet, oh, but it's too late. So they're going to suffer. That wouldn't sit well with you, right? Or what if I told you that, okay, here's a bag for 10 grand. I was fitting to give it to you, but it's too late. I bet you somebody right now, 90 some years old, would take them 10 G's right away. Because even if you don't need it, you give it to somebody else. So to me, that is selfish thinking because if you have any knowledge that you can share that will make somebody else's life better and you don't share it, that's being selfish. And I told this to a buddy of mine years ago. He has a business and I looked at some of the stuff that he was doing and I'm like, man, you guys do incredible work and you guys are booked out. And he's like, yeah, we're like booked out for at least a year. And I was like, dang, you're crushing it. And he was bragging. He goes, oh, we make like 100 to 150 a year. I was like, bro, if you computerize this and build a sort of a workflow and a lead gen with like one other person, you could easily turn this into a $1 million business. And he was like, oh, no, I'm comfortable. Like, I don't really want to do that kind of work. I'm not going to make it whatever. I go, well, what if you hired other people to do the work for you and all you had to do was manage it? And he goes, yeah, I guess that would be easy, but yeah, I really don't want to do that kind of work or whatever. And I was like, yo, you lucky I don't come to church no more. He goes, why? Because I would call you out. He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, so I'm telling you that for like 20 G's, I can set you up to turn your 100 grand a year into $1 million a year. Yeah. Wouldn't it be more Christian of you to give away 900,000 a year because you comfortable with 100? And I left, and he was mad. About 3 weeks later, he was like, "A-hole, come over here and set me up." And basically, he's one of the most altruistic people I know. He gives away tons of stuff, pays for kids to go to school and all these things because his business supports it. And yeah, he doesn't want to live that kind of life. He didn't need a fancy car or a bigger house or whatever, but he definitely started because he knew where we came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up poor. And I was like, what if you could help a whole bunch of other people not suffer through the stuff that we suffer through just by, adjusting your thing? And yeah, he does. I mean, he is always, if there's a food bank situation here, his company is provided. So I know that's why that sticks to me so strong. Like, if you got something positive to do and you don't do it because you're lazy, don't talk to me.
Y'all, don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. Paul Duncan says, if you think it's too late, you should just climb into that 6-foot hole. If you wake up in the morning breathing, it's not too late. There you go.
Gangster.
There
Gangster.
you go. Absolutely. And Tora is on that train. And Tech says, I always go extraordinarily so I can be extraordinary.
That's right. But you got to say it with the South Click accent. I can't do it right now.
I can't. So, Doc, you've got so much going on, but one of the things you have is you have the LGL crew. Tell us about how you started it, what you were thinking when you started LGL, and what you want to achieve through LGL.
I have
What's your big the big
my
old
purpose.
your big
Yeah.
bodacious goal?
My purpose was I want to positively impact the lives of a billion people. Jesus, I can't even speak. And I know I couldn't do that by myself. So I realized if I can create like 10,000 of me, that's like, like if you can get Mary Kay can get, a couple hundred people selling pink crap, I could probably do this. And so that audacious thought was, the more people I can teach to share what they know that positively impacts other people, then that counts, right? So if Paul, who is currently in Africa on satellite somewhere, the other Paul, we call him Paul Senior. He is traveling through Africa right now, dealing with some appliance people in the third world company to make sure that they can get better access to washers and dryers and things like that. And when I met Paul, his channel was about 68,000, almost 70, and now Paul's channel is at 160. So like, I've helped him grow his channel by almost 100,000 people. All those people count. You know what I'm saying? And for those people, now he's, going into third worlds and like trying to help them, solve problems. All right, all of those people count. So I need to generate like another couple hundred Pauls, and then you just said it today, Mr. Moderator. I yelled at him about making his little thing, and then he made those videos, and then kicking and screaming. And you said when you started your channel, you went and studied at Paul's channel. You know what I'm saying?
Not
So
only
like, you know what I'm
me,
saying?
but my
Yeah,
moderators.
but your
Yeah.
moderators.
Mhm.
So, like now I can add Frank is on the list, and Frank is on my list. He's part of my billion, and so that's what it is. Like I just felt like when I did my show in hip hop, my show title was called The Funk Evangelist. That was the name of my show. That was my radio show, The Funk Evangelist. Myself and my partner JP. And I think that's really what it's about. Like, I just want to evangelize positivity, and like, no matter what the world throws at you, you're getting given that test because you can handle it. So handle it and make it better for somebody else. Now, even if you got handed the worst luck in the world, which I can definitely say happened to people in my family, they still always tried to make it better for us so that we don't go through what they went through. Like, most of us have that from our parents. Not all. I fully understand that. But most of us have that from our parents, our grandparents, our neighborhood, or somebody was always trying to make sure you had it better than them. So why are you going to get greedy now and stop? Like, you make no damn sense. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. So here she come with another question. Miss Tora, besides Seth Godin, who is the person that Doc would like to have the ultimate conversation over coffee with? And
Marcus
it's not Simon
Aurelius.
Sinek.
Marcus Aurelius, but that's not going to happen. Um,
Now that would be a
you,
treat, a trick.
oh my God, that would be just amazing, though. I'm have to brush up on my Italian. I This is going to sound super stupid. I do a cup a few times a week, and it might change, but right now that person is Mary Lou, and I just did it right before I talked to you. We got the talking smack and laughing and just cracking up. And I sent her a video from me on YouTube from like 14 years ago. And she sent me one of her from like 5 years ago. And it's like, it's funny how changed, but it's exactly the same. Like we're still the same us, like however many long ago on YouTube. And so I think having a creative partner that, we can bounce ideas off or whatever, that's more impactful to me. And that's actually livable. So I am I'm a visionary person, but I'm not much of a dreamer. I'm a doer. Dreams are cute, but dreams got to wake up at 4 in the morning when Paul accidentally texts me when I'm trying to sleep. so, so to me, the more tangible situation is I would rather have a conversation with Lou or a conversation with Yolanda. Like, Alicia's my homie. Like I could just kick it. Me, Alicia, and Camera Junkie, when we travel to events, we gotta make ourselves go to bed. You know
Mm,
what I mean? I could talk to
mm.
Luis for hours. Like you have two Puerto Ricans in the room, we get the foolishness. Like to me, those are more impactful. Like I love Seth, and don't tell him I said this, but I'd rather talk to Mary Lou than talk to Seth. And Seth is my dude.
So Paul has a question for you.
Hmm.
Knowing what you know today, would you still, Paul, when you said on your video you decided to go live and you're still alive, I fell out. Knowing what you know today, you still have, I'm sorry, would you still have made that old man a moderator of your channel or would you have banned him?
Absolutely, absolutely. The thing I love about Paul is Paul even pushes me. Like Paul is guardrails, and me with no guardrails is dangerous. So yeah, Paul is guardrails. Like in the cartoons in Bugs Bunny where they used to have like the one on each shoulder, like Paul is sitting there in his white Jesus gown, like Doc, stop tripping, calm down, like let it go. And then there's the other one, Luis is on the other side. Nah, fam, houseway.
You
So
got both
nah,
of
for
them.
real. Yeah, like on the reels, like our conversations go like that. Even today, we had a meeting today, and I was mad, but then Paul and Caleb are like, "No, Doc, you don't get to be mad. Chill out. This is what's going down." I was like, "Yeah, y'all right, you right." So yeah, I definitely like. It's really weird, right? You can't pick your family, but you can pick your family, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got my
Mm-hmm.
I got my sisters and I got my cousin them,
Oh Lord, you got
but
me doing
doing what?
musical Tourette's in my head. I
What?
got my
You know what I'm
sisters,
saying?
and I just went all
Did
there.
you just we are family? Did you just
Yes.
have a little sledge moment? sorry, sorry,
Like,
Percy. We didn't mean to
am
invoke
I
your
doing
daughters.
Sister Sledge in my head?
So, but like, you know, having the ability to pick like Paul, Mary Lou, Eden, Cat, like our little squad, Jill, Diana, India, Kurt, like that's that's better. Like it just is. You know what I mean? And we have our fights, definitely. But I feel like it's easier to like stop fighting with them. my sisters are a different story. They grew up same place I grew up, and I have the easiest temper out of all of us. Just put it that way. So I was the baby boy. So as the baby, my temper is nowhere near as bad as them. They got all the mom. I just got a smidge.
Just a smidge. So, gang, we have
I never hit
gone.
nobody with a slipper flow, allegedly.
I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not telling. I'm not telling. If you ran fast enough, you wouldn't catch it. But if you didn't run fast enough, sorry for you. So Doc, you have given so much today as you do literally every day. And I want to say thank you. To the rest of the crew, I'm going to give Doc about 45 seconds. I've been drinking, but he hasn't had a break because y'all been working him. Give you some instructions. And then Doc, I'm tell you what's going to happen. Doc is going to come back and close us out. And then as the scene goes, we're going home. You can come into the lounge or Zoom, as some of you all think about it. You'll see a link. The moderators will drop it in. Come in and have that conversation that you're not going to have in public. Because there's always a conversation that A, you're not going to have, but two, you shouldn't have in public.
That's
Today
so
is the
good.
day. You may not get another chance. The next 5 minutes is not promised in your life. Don't play.
That's so good. That's so good. Back in the day on 14th Ave, we walked down to the end of the steps at Way to Cross Baptist. We definitely had some conversations standing out there on 14th in Georgia that we wouldn't have had in the building because Grandma wasn't about to let that go down. We're gonna have to take this one to the Carter Barron and do this in the park.
Hey. And it's still there. It's still
Doing
there.
it in the park. Doing it after dark. Oh
Don't
yeah,
listen.
Rock
Let's
Creek Park.
see. I'm trying to be. I'm so trying to be good. I really am. I'm working on it. So let me give them some instructions, and then I'm going to bring you back to take us out of here. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, gang. So glad to have you here with us. Those who have never been on the channel before, very, very grateful to have you with us. Like I said, you can go register, come on in, have that conversation. If this is your first time, come back. What you see is who I am. I just, as I tell people, simple Iowa girl, but I'm smart and I don't hide the fact that I'm smart. Not bragging, just saying. Tonight has been wonderful. We have been expanded. Our thinking has been expanded. And remember, once your mind has expanded, it cannot go back. So don't go back to where you were an hour ago. Keep moving forward. I'm going to bring Doc back. He's going to close us out. Come on in, and we're going to chop it up for a little bit before we give him time back for the rest of his day. If I can do this right. So, Doc, it's all on you, sir.
I just wanted to say, if you like today, listen. I do this on my channel every day, and I'm willing to take any question. And yeah, I might not give you the easy answer, but I'll give you the real answer. And the truth of the matter is, you probably already know what you need to do. And one of the things I say a lot is the work that you're looking for, the magic that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. And you kind of already know what to do. So why are you stopping yourself from doing it? Let's just get real about that. And I'm down to help. We do every Tuesday, Creators Unstuck. You can come ask these questions. Mary Lou and I will therapize you. She'll say it nicer than me. And then on Saturdays, we normally talk, tech or whatever other kind of questions that you have. Sometimes it's the same, but for the most part, I just want to see everybody get out there and create, because the best thing we can do is create better. Especially if you're tired of the nastiness that's popping in the world right now. So when I say create better, that doesn't mean like make a cuter video. That means create a better place. How you get to that is up to you. Like cute video, ugly video doesn't matter. Make ugly videos, but let's just create better.